Let's say you want to learn to improvise and to play solo on guitar, and you want to do it properly and systematically. Which is the best skill that you can focus on right now that will give you the best return of your time investment? And which exercises can you do to develop this skill? Hey friend, it's Gregor here, and in today's video I will show you exactly what you can focus on so that you can start building a solid foundation for your improvisational practice. So let's not waste any time and dig into the lesson. The first skill that you need to develop is chord awareness, and it's basically this. It's knowing and hearing the chords that you are improvising over while you are engaged in the act of soloing. So, in other words, a part of your attention is monitoring the chords that you are improvising over while you are playing guitar. But why is this important? It's simple. This will be your skeleton and a rock-solid foundation that you can rely on to make good note choices. Because let's face it, music isn't a static thing. Unlike a picture that you can look at its entirety moment by moment, music is changing moment by moment, and therefore you need to know what's going on in order to make good note choices. I hope this makes sense, because the alternative would be to rely solely on trial and error or musical intuition. And let's face it, if you are a guitar beginner or an intermediate guitar player, you are developing your musical intuition, so you cannot rely on it. And as for the trial and error approach, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a good approach to begin with, but it's certainly not a good approach to rely on solely. So let's make this practical, and I will show you how you can develop chord awareness. Let's take this fun and easy backing track to map out the entire process. The first step is simply knowing what you are improvising over. So this is an easy one. There are only 3 chords here. It's A minor, D minor and E7, and it's an 8-bar chord progression. So it's A minor, D minor, D minor, E7, E7 and A minor, A minor. You need to memorize the entire chord progression. Seriously, there is no way around this. So, this one is an easy one, but no matter how complex this might be for you in the future, the goal is that you can recall the entire chord progression by sheer memory. But don't worry, if you'll do the exercises that I'm about to show you here, then it's likely that you learn the entire chord progression as a byproduct of doing the exercises, so you don't need to study the chord progression. So it will be fun and no chore, I promise. This exercise might appear to you as insultingly easy, because you are just allowed to play the chord notes, and not only that, you are just allowed to play a single note per chord only, and it's the root note. But you will experiencing very soon that it's not that easy if you'll do the exercise on each and every string and on every position on the guitar fretboard, because it's likely that you have some blind spot there, and it's a good thing to shine some light onto it. So it's a nice byproduct of doing this exercise that you are not only working on your fretboard knowledge, but you are working on your chord awareness simultaneously. Now let me give you a brief overview of the notes that we're gonna need for the following exercises. And like I said before, we are just gonna use chord notes. So for the A minor, you're gonna need A, C and E. For the D minor, you're gonna need D, F and A. And for the E7, you're gonna need E, G sharp and B. And theoretically, there is the D, the 7th, but we will omit this note for the purpose of this exercise, so you can treat the E7 as a normal E major chord. And just in case that you need to refresh your fretboard knowledge, here are the notes that we're gonna need for this exercise. The notes are A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp. So only 7 notes, and by the way, that's the A harmonic minor scale. Alright, enough talking. Here is the very basic version of exercise 1. And for demonstration purposes, I will not stay for very long on each and every string for obvious reasons, but you might have to spend some time on each and every string until you feel comfortable playing the root notes there. So, here it is. And here comes exercise number 2. The only difference here is that you are not playing the root note, but the third instead. Notice that the third has a completely different sound than the root note. Try to memorize the essence of it so that you can make a great ear exercise of this as well. And here comes exercise number 3. Here you are playing the fifth instead of the root or the third. And notice here as well that the fifth has a completely different sound than the third or the root note. Memorize it and make an ear exercise of this as well. Let's say you've practiced these exercises for a while and you are now quite comfortable with playing the root, the third and the fifth of each and every chord in this backing track on every string and on every position on your guitar fretboard. What you can do now is use these notes as your target notes. These notes are your skeleton. So what you can do now is you can try to make some musical statements by playing the notes around the chord notes. So just be playful and try to have some fun, and this might sound like this. If you're having fun doing these exercises, then you can step up the game and simply expand the restrictions on them, so that you are now allowed to play 2 chord notes per chord. So, for example, you can now play the root note and the third, or the third and the fifth, or the root note and the fifth, and so on. This might sound like this here. Alright, let's wrap this up here. These exercises are extremely effective if you'll do them continuously over a period of time. And what you'll get here is you are not only working on your chord awareness, you are not only learning the fretboard inside out, you are not only working on your ears, you are learning music theory by implementing it immediately. And that's the proper way to learn music theory. So stay tuned for the next video where I'll show you how you can use triads on this backing track. And I hope that you like this lesson. If that's the case, do me a favor, hit the like button, consider to subscribe, and if you got any questions, then post them in the comments down below. Until then, have fun and stay tuned.